way, no way. No way, no way, no way.
Good night, good night, good night. This is Marcia Weeks, and you are watching the Marcia Weeks Show. We're coming to you live from Barbados. It is beautiful, beautiful Barbados, the most easterly Caribbean island. And I'm telling you, this is a beautiful place, the Caribbean. Oh my goodness, so beautiful. And we are excited to be with you tonight. This is the Marcia Weeks Show, where we educate, we motivate, we agitate. And we mobilize Africa and the African diaspora. And we are on the ball tonight. And tonight we say, BIM is waking up. And if you're watching and you're not from Barbados, when we say BIM, we are talking about Barbados. Barbados is waking up. BIM is up. All the way up. BIM is up. BIM is up. BIM is wake up. BIM is here. BIM is everything. So this is the Marcia Week Show, and we are saying BIM is waking up, eyes wide open. All right. We are here. We are here. We are here. And let me just go ahead and welcome a couple people tonight. This is so amazing. Lucinda, are you up? Are you up? BIM is waking up. Eyes wide open. Anybody eyes wide open? Listen, Bajan boy, your eyes wide open. Junior Rocker. BIM is waking up. Queen B, we are up, stretching and up. You know, when we used to go to school and your parents come to wake you up, and then you're half asleep. This is like when you have sports day, right? When you have sports day, your parents don't have to wake you up because you're like, I'm up. Barbados is up. I'm telling you, we are up. We are all the way up, people. We are all the way up. Yes, Judy, Lyric Lewis, Jilks. Ooh, that's got tongue tied there. Marcia Miller. Are you up? Your eyes wide open, Marcia. Can you see now? Yes, we can see. Skylar Watson, Monica Inns. Oh my goodness. Bonnie Springer, we are up. BIM is waking up. Lord, I tell you, we are up. We are ready. We are ready. They can't fool us anymore, Tony Paris. We are up. We are up, born again, not Grant. Yes. Hashel Bino. Shirley, your eyes wide open, Shirley. Shirley, are your eyes wide open? Are you still sleeping? No, Sherry Berry. We up. BIM is waking up. Come on, people. Move the hands. Come on, move the hands. Kim Tay, Joanne Roberts, we are up. Hasbra. No more sleeping for you, Hasbra. BIM is up. We are all the way up. Oh, goodness. I'm just excited tonight. Vernon Garnes. Oh, Lord. I hope you all can feel the excitement out there. I'm hoping you all could feel the excitement in the house out there. We are up. We are up. We're all the way up, folks. Eyes wide open. Oh, my goodness. Yes. And I tell you, you know what? We are going to go right into the national anthem. Right into the national anthem of Barbados. Are you ready? Are you ready? Tell me if you're ready. Let me get a thumbs up. This is a music. Listen, Deborah, don't even try it on me tonight. You're not going to win. It is a national anthem of Barbados, and this is what we want to hear. This is what we want to hear. This is a rallying call. This is a song that brings us all together. The national anthem of Barbados. Barbados, today we declare a quantum shift. The illusion is crumbling. The deception woven into the fabric of this system is now unraveling. The shadows can no longer hide. The people can no longer be blinded. We are not just a voice. We are a frequency, a force that disrupts the false narratives and rends the veil of manipulation. The corruption of this government is a tower built on sand, and with every truth we speak, its foundation cracks. Every lie exposed is another pillar falling. They fear us because they cannot silence what was sent by divine order. The media puppets with their psychological warfare, they are the last desperate echoes of a dying system. Their power is an illusion. Their strength is borrowed. Their time is up. No algorithm, no campaign, no false trial can touch what is protected by divine decree. By the name of the Most High, the seal of divine protection is now placed upon you, Barbados, and your family, and every soul you fight for. No weapon of deception shall prosper. No force shall break this shield. No attack shall find its mark. Today, walk boldly, for you do not walk alone. You are guided, fortified, and unstoppable. It is done. It is sealed. It is the law of God. BIM is waking up. Eyes open wide. Eyes open wide. Don't let anybody tell you you're sleeping. Eyes open wide. We are not just a voice. We are a frequency. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Every time I read that, I want to thank the viewer who doesn't want to be named, who sent that to me. I did not write that. You see, that's the thing about what's going on. They can't stop it because it's coming from all different directions. I tell you, if they take me off the air today, this movement continues. The movement of the loyal opposition pressure group continues because it's made up of all 280,000 of us. So every time it's like, a whole lot of mosquitoes and you're killing here and China, and it can't end. There's no end in sight. Yes? No end in sight because we are so many. Isn't that amazing? Now, the church has a march. The church has a march, and guess what? I am supporting that march 125% or 50%. We are not a voice. We are a frequency. Access denied. Entertainment shouldn't cost lives. Say no to the Vibes Cartel show. We march for life, not lyrics of violence. In 2025, so far, they have 13 homicides in 90 days. Well, I tell you, it's actually more than that. I don't know when this flyer was done, but I believe it's either 15 or 16. In 2024, there has been a 138% increase in homicides. In 2024, we march so the count does not rise. We march so the count does not rise. We march for life, not lyrics of violence. This Saturday coming April the 12th, starting at 10 a.m. And with our marches, we normally go from Kensington to to Independence Square, this march that they're planning is completely different. They're going the opposite way. They're going from Independence Square to Kensington. Yes? How many of you will be going? How many of you? I see a lot of you here say you're going to pray, but how many of you going to march? Go out and, Skylar, you're going to go out with the church and march with the church? I know a lot of you, you're saying about fasting and prayer. How many of you will march with the church? And listen, you don't have to be going to church every Sunday to go out and march. Yeah? You don't have to go out every good. Did you go to Sunday school? Was Sunday school of benefit to you or your children? That's really what it is, you know. It's not about religion. It's not about religion. It's not about whether it is. I'm sure you're going to find some Rastafari on this march, knowing some friends of mine, you know. We support each other. It's not about religion. You're going to find Muslims on this march. I'm very sure. You know, I can't say I'm sure of Muslims. I know Rastafari, my Rastafari brothers, they'll come out to this. Yeah. Look at what you're asking, Malachi. Which church is this? No, man. No, man. This is not about labels. You must, everybody, if you say you are a follower of Christ or whatever Yeshua, whatever name you line up behind, the point is that find something in common that you have in common. The divine, the Almighty. Find something, man. It doesn't matter what church it is. Yes, you know, yes, Mystic Angel. How many of you, anybody went to Sunday school when you were a little boy or a little girl, and you can say you believe that Sunday school helped to shape your life in a positive way? Is there anybody like that? When the Sunday school I'm talking about is a Sunday school that happens on at a church or some gathering where they're teaching people the scriptures, the Bible, etc. That's what I'm not talking about the fete, Sunday school fete. Okay, that's not what we're talking about. All right, so yeah. Yes, I like Jack. I see you all coming in. Let me make sure. Yes, Vihoy said yes. Hey, Vihoy, you got back safely. Vihoy was with us here in Barbados from the diaspora. This is why I'm telling them, government, if you're listening, even if you stop the show, I'm telling you, if you touch this show, if you decide, if you and your sycophants decide you're going to do whatever you want to do to me or the show, let me tell you, this is going to be multiplied in so many ways. Might as well you leave it alone. You better leave it alone because there's so many of us, even the diaspora. So Vihoy is back, and Vihoy said yes, she went to church. And Gardner said yes. Jack Murphy said, I think he's saying yes. I think Skylar, you say yes, you went to Sunday school or you didn't? Definitely. Yes, it did shape. Yes. This is why I'm alive today. Me too. Yes. Okay, Cammy, we're going to get into this very soon. I have some new things to tell you about the government headquarters, Cammy. But right now, let us talk about this march that is coming up. It is not put on by the loyal opposition pressure group or the show, but we are in total support. Yes, Skylar. Yes. Yeah, me three. Listen, I did. And let me tell you something. I would be a statistics. I would be like an Amani on the street. I'm telling you, I would be probably 6 foot under for, I grew up in a ghetto community. At 10 years old, all I grew up, my family selling weed, selling, marijuana. You understand? And that's what I sold when I came from primary school. So can you imagine the life I would be living right now? If I didn't go to Sunday school, I went to Sunday school at 10. No, that's not true. At 7, but I got really committed at 10 years old. and totally changed my life. Yeah, and don't come and tell me I believe in a white Jesus. I don't believe in that kind of thing. All right, I am just telling you what that has meant to me. And so what I'm saying to you is this: don't see it as a church going to march. See it as you are saying that this Vybz Kartel concert is not appropriate at this time in light of the fact that we have so many murders, especially by gun and stabbings. In the last couple of weeks, we have about 15 or 16. Yes? Not appropriate. And in the same way that Prime Minister David Thompson and the Minister of Culture at the time, Stephen Lashley, they were able to stop this concert years ago. It can be stopped now. They have the power, but they don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. And it's happening. The church is upset. It's happening on their most holy day. I think that is disrespectful. Yeah. Some of Judith and Clark said, went to Sunday school and was put in confirmation class at 12. You know. And yeah, Patrick King, if you come to the march, Patrick King, you and I, we're going to march together. Patrick King, I know Patrick King condemned this show. Can somebody tell him I would like to march with Patrick King? I would put his hand in my hand and we will march together. I tell you, that would be, I think the media would love that. Patrick King, that's my buddy. That's my buddy, Patrick King. He loves me, you know. And he loves the fact that I was born in Jamaica and I'm now a naturalized citizen of Barbados. Patrick is just, you know, he's just fascinated with that, and he keeps, you know, talking about it. So Patrick King, Skylar, and whoever knows him, let him know I am committed to marching with him. Okay, I walk with Patrick King. Yeah. So the march, when is the march? So look at the flyers there. The march is next Saturday. It's this Saturday coming up here. This Saturday, April 12th. And it's starting at 10 a.m. from Independence Square to Massey Car Park. Are we sharing and liking? It's so important that you do that, so that when they gang up and decide they're going to report the page and say that it's abusive, or you know, it's hate speech and all the things that they tell YouTube about this channel, then what is going to happen is that YouTube is going to say, well, there's so many people liking it. How can it be hate speech? Right? So that's why you like it, and that's why you share, because the algorithm is going to be like, confused. So we got to confuse the algorithm by liking and sharing and subscribing. There's a little bell there, and so when you hit that bell, anytime I come on, whether in the day, like I came on today in the day, anytime I come on live, you're going to hear ping, and you're going to know that I'm on, right? Yeah. All right. Now I want to talk to you about an event that's happening in the evening. As you like and share, but we're going to get into some meat of the matter. We're going to talk to the Attorney General about this, what he's talking about. Well, it's I think it's the assistant DPP, but it's still coming from the government, talking about the marijuana is now what they're blaming for the crime. And then we're going to talk about the suicide that happened. You know, we have some information to share with you about the Barbados Government Hospital, Jammett's Lane. We got some stuff to share with you. We're going to look at Kenya and how Kenya dealt with this whole business of immunity. And we're going to have some good things to talk about. So don't go. But if Dave could put up the flyer for Bungalites. I call it for Bungalites, but it is for the Rastafari community. They are celebrating 50 years being in Barbados. And somebody said, look at her. She just talk about the church and she's going to talk about Rastafari. Let me Dave, can you put up the flyer for that flyer, please? Yeah, let me just, yes, it's coming up. So now this event is being is going to be on Saturday evening. Saturday evening. If Dave could go up a little, let me just see the bottom of it. Saturday evening at 6 p.m. until midnight. Saturday, the 12th of April, 2025. And it's going to be at the Bongo Lights International Cultural Place. And they've asked all these speakers, including what I'm seeing on here, Theory Gittins. They're going, all of these speakers are going to speak about their experience with Rastafari. Christian Payne, Apostle Canterbury, Ishmael Watkins, Kemar Stewart, from Alternate Views. Actually, Alternate Views started back, I believe, last Thursday and will be on again this Thursday. Abdul Rahman, and the MC is Natalia Peters, will be the MC. Refreshments on sale. There is a donation at the door, will be accepted. And the Bongo Lights International Cultural Place is right there on Suttle Street, okay? That's where it's going to be. It's going to be educational, uplifting, inspiring, poetry. They will show a short film because, you know, Bongo Lights is a filmmaker. Naya Bingi, Albert Olton, candlelight visuals, speakers, and more. So all of this is happening on Saturday, the 12th. This is so you have the march in the church is marching in the evening, and at night the Rastafari community, they're celebrating 50 years. Okay, 50 years. I will be a speaker there as well. And you know, I thought I would bring this to show you, because you know, sometimes people think that you stay in your little corner. For me, I respect people from all different religions. I really do. It's not my religion. Rastafari is not my belief. It's not my belief system, you know. But I respect. Yeah, I respect Bongo Lights. I respect Lumumba. I respect Rasimba. I sit and I talk with these men. Wonderful people. I respect some of the sisters who marched with us when we were marching for the children. You know what? We had so many persons from the Rastafari community coming out when we were doing those children marches. You know, and we've done a lot of work together with the Rastafari community, and they're celebrating 50 years in Barbados. And so I'm going to go with them. I'll be a guest speaker there and speaking about my experience. And I'm holding in my hand, and I brought this not so that I can, this is not to brag or anything. It's just to show you the kind of solidarity that we have and how we find what we have in common. We've worked with the Muslim community. You just saw how we were celebrating a little girl who's 8 years old, who's clearly Muslim. And I mean, the excitement that we had on this show to get that child to go to Canada. Who remember that? Yeah. So, you know, we're not here to put down or to bash any religion. Yes, I am of the Christian faith, so that's the faith I will talk about, right? Makes sense, right? When Bongo Lights and Lumumba have their program, what they say, you know, they talk about Empress. I can't even remember what they say. You know, they say what they have to say, and they call on Rastafari, you know, Hail Selassie. I don't do that. So I'm going to be myself, all right? And you be yourself. But listen, this award was given to me by Bongo Lights, Lumumba, Emmanuel. All of those guys are from the Rastafari community. And this award was the first award, not from the church, it was from the Rastafari community who recognized what it is that I was doing back in 2021 when I used to have about 30 people on on the Marcia Week show, right? And they gave me this award. It was total surprise. And I remember when I went up to take this award, I broke down crying. I mean, I would have gotten many awards, but this meant something to me because a lot of people around me in my circle didn't understand what I was doing, but somehow the Rastafari community understood it, and they gave this award to me. And they said, in honor of Queen Marcia, who exemplifies courage. Did I put this up where you can see it? I don't know if you can read it or it's turned back ways. In honor of Queen Marcia, who exemplifies courage and love for humanity, motivates and inspires, a lioness and voice for the people. Barbados Concerned Citizens 2021. And I tell you, I cried so much. And while I was up there, I literally saw bongo lights, a big man crying too. A lot of people were there from the Rastafari community. And so I know that the work that they do and the resistance that they have, the spirit of resistance that they carry in this country and throughout the Caribbean. Yeah. So we just I wanted to put a plug there. If Dave, you could put back up the poster, that would be great. Yes. So that is Saturday. Okay. All right. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the history of the Barbados government hospital. The Barbados government hospital. Now, this was the only hospital that we had before we had the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. Yes? Can anybody write? What do you know about the Barbados government hospital? What do you know about the history? Anybody? Anybody know anything about the history? If you know about the history, go ahead and write it in the comment section. Come on, help me out. My guests will not be here until the next 20 minutes. So we're here together. So come on, guys. Come on, lively up the thing. Lively up the thing. Now, I want to yes, before I even go into this one, I want to just give you, okay, somebody says that they were born there. Now, I want to read a little piece of something that I read on Saturday at the march, because everybody wasn't at the march. So I want to just read a little piece of this for you, and we go through it together. I don't know if Dave could put up, okay. Right. So the Barbados General Hospital was opened on July 1st, 1844, for the convenience of patients. The idea for a hospital to serve the indigent sick of all denominations had been mooted in 1836. In anticipation of the need to provide medical services to thousands of newly emancipated apprentices. During the slavery and apprenticeship periods, individual plantations looked after the medical needs of their workers. Okay? So listen carefully, right? Because we want to get the truth, right? And this is what is at least is recorded by the museum. So that's where I got this information. Thank you to that loyal opposition member who researched this for me. You know who you are. This arrangement ended with the abolition of apprenticeship system in 1838. At a meeting to launch the project, which was held at the town hall on October 9th, 1839, John Beckles Jr. moved a resolution that the altered condition of the society of this island renders it necessary for the interests of humanity to establish and maintain a general hospital for the reception and treatment of the sick and poor of the island. At that meeting, which was attended by members of the clergy, the legislature, and medical and legal professions, it was also decided that the hospital was to be financed from voluntary contributions and the service was to be free to the poor. Should I repeat that? The hospital was to be financed from voluntary contributions and the service was to be free to the poor, which meant that they were going to go around with a hat, right? And collect money from all the citizens. Everybody put money in to establish the first hospital that was at Gemmott's Lane. Right? So listen carefully. A call was therefore made for public subscriptions, meaning donations, for the erection and support of the institution, and the Barbados Hospital Society for the relief of the indigent sick was formed. In 1840, by way of an act of parliament, the Hospital Society was incorporated and its name was changed to the Barbados General Hospital. So that happened in 1840. The former residence of Colonel Gabriel Jemmott of Carlisle House was located on Gemmott's Lane. So that was the name of the building that is now gifted to the Afrexim Bank. This house was called Carlisle House. It was owned by Colonel Gabriel Jemmott, or Gabriel Jemmott, and it was purchased for the sum of £2,500 to provide a hospital, a home for the hospital. Who paid that money? Who paid the £2,500, £2,500? Who paid it? Can anybody tell me who paid it? Come on, let's make this interactive. Who paid the £2,500? I'm waiting on the answer. Correct, Jacqueline. Come to the front of the class, Jacqueline. The people. The people of Barbados paid for the building and the land. The people of Barbados paid for the building and the land. The government of Barbados did not pay for the building and the land. All you've got to go to the museum website and just look it up. Thank you to the loyal opposition who sent me this, who did this research, and she has more research from me. The people paid for everything. And they did not pay it through it, Marcia, going through any tax. That's the thing about this one, Marcia. I want us to get it in our heads. It's not any tax that was, it's not through our taxes that this was paid. People voluntarily took money out of the bank account or wherever they under the mattress. You know, you used to have the kaya, we call it kaya mattress or whatever. They voluntarily paid for the hospital, the building, and the land. So I want us to, come on, you're sharing this live. Only 700 and something people on. You're not sharing this live, man, because this kind of information We need people to hear it, don't you think? How do you feel about that, Mystic Angel, to know that it was a people? It was a people who paid for the land and the building. How does that make you feel to know that the building that was bought by the people of Barbados was taken up without your consent and given to a private entity? This was, you see, this is online. Now, I know that there is a video going around saying that this was gifted to us because of reparations. As far as what I've seen on the museum website, and I'm in black and white, I have not seen it as any reparations. It wasn't given to us. It wasn't a gift. I don't know of that. If somebody has another piece of information that they could send to me, and we can research it and prove that, what I believe is from what I've seen in the history. Okay, librarians, and this is coming from a former librarian. All right, and it's coming from the museum. I'm more inclined to listen to this and to believe this. Okay. Yes, Zico. Yes. 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 Think about it. I want you to think about it tonight. And this hospital, let me read some more. The rooms of this Carlisle house, this is a big house, was converted into wards, residences, and offices, and a new block was added. Okay, so they had enough money that they could have purchased the land and the building and the house that was there. They converted the wards into residences and offices, and they also added a new block. Correct? This is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking this is happening. This is so wrong on so many levels. Guys, you sharing? We're not even 800 yet. We're sharing, guys. Now, on its opening day, the 75-bed hospital admitted 12 patients, one of whom was a workman who had fallen from the building and had broken his legs. During the first 9 months of its operation, 267 patients were admitted and 26 operations were performed. This was the people power. People, the people. This belongs to the people. My God. A children's wing was added in 1882, and they did some more expansions to the bed capacity and made it to 384 beds. Right? And the history goes on. Later on, if they ran into any issues with paying expenses, operating expenses or so on, the government at that time would help them. So the government would come in and would give them, would supplement. Okay, would give a subsidy if the people could not, because they were expanding. And so as they were expanding, the expenses grew, right? They had more expenses, and guess what? The government came and gave the subsidy. But listen, it's like you have your dinner, you have your rice, your peas, your chicken, and then you need a little gravy, and they come with the gravy, but the gravy is not the substance. The substance came from the people. Because they bought this land, they bought the building, they started the expansion. It was the people's idea. And you mean to tell me that the government has taken this from the people? I told you, of course, Malachi, no respect for the people of Barbados. This prime minister, why I say this, and they, you know, they say I'm biased, but why I say this is that I have seen all of those prime ministers, minister of foreign affairs, when they're speaking at the United Nations, they wear their flag on their, I think it's their left breast. The only person I've seen speaking at the UN who is representing a country without a flag on their left breast is Mia Mottley, Honorable Mia Mottley. She wears the UN sign. That's what she wears on her left breast, not Barbados's flag. Now, a lot of people say, "Oh, you know, you're taking that out of thing." No. That is that right there. Trust me, Barbadians, it is speaking to us volumes. Now, there is another article that I want us to look at. Dave, can we put up that article? This is the one that said things that matter. This one is going to be quite shocking. You want to hear a shock here? Look at this article here, guys, that was written in May 2018, May 26th. May 26th. Now, I know a lot of you upset, but hold on to your seatbelt. Listen to this and tell me what you think. You can tell me what you're saying. Okay, look at it. Things that matter. This is the Advocate. We don't have the Advocate anymore. Yeah. The old General Hospital, symbol of good. And I believe this article is written by Sir Henry Fraser. Look at the date of it. Okay. So the article itself was written on June, was published on June, on June the 3rd. So my mistake on that. But you're going to look at the sequence of events. And if you are writing, and if you have pen or use your phone and write these dates down. On the morning of May the 25th, remember what happened on the morning of what happened on the 25th? Prime Minister Stewart gave his concession speech at a deserted Democratic Labour Party headquarters. And guess what, guys? And that's the night, that's the 25th, that we made Prime Minister Mia Mottley Prime Minister of Barbados on May 25th, 2018. Some of you still type in, but I want you to stop and think about what I'm going to tell you here. Write it down, somebody. Write it down. May 25th. 2018, is the article correct? Is that the date that Honorable Mia Mottley became, because she won the election on that night? Yes? Agree? Are we agreeing on that? Okay. On the morning of May 25th, the Prime Minister Stewart gave his concession speech. Almost exactly 24 hours later. Yes, Marcia. Almost exactly 24 hours later, which would be May 26th. Look at what happened. Read it for yourself. I'm going to shut up and let you read it. I want you to read it. Don't type anything now. Read the screen. Almost exactly 24 hours later, what happened? Anybody, what happened 24 hours later? Write it in the comments. I'm putting on my teacher hat today. I'm putting on my teacher hat today. on May, and this, I'm not making it up. My people, I am not making it up. It's right here, written by Sir Dave. Go down the bottom. Let's see who wrote this article. Because you see, you're going to say, I make it up. Professor Fraser, Henry Fraser, is a past dean of medical sciences, UWI, and you know, Professor Henry Fraser. Not me. Go ahead and screenshot it. Once again, another fire happened one day after this government got in. This is why we have been telling you this, all of these plans were being made. I've spoken to historians who told me that they have seen documents. They were planning this from 2016. All of what is being done, Barbados will wake up. Barbados is waking up. Our eyes are wide open. We are not just a voice. We are a frequency, Barbados. And we understand, we read, and we understand. We are Barrow's children. We went to school. This process started, Gardner, on the 26th, May 26, 2018. Oh, Lord. Listen to me. There is something that is wrong about this administration, folks. Something is wrong about this administration. Something is wrong. Are you sharing? Are you sharing? Folks. Oh my gosh. Folks, it is time for this covenant that we have with this government to be broken. It will be 7 years that we have been in this covenant with this administration. 7 years. 7 years. It's symbolic. May 25th. Listen, folks. Am I saying that correct? Can somebody calculate it? I correct. All of a sudden, I think I calculated that wrongly. Is it 7 years? Dave, help me. May 25th, 2018 to May 25th, 2025. Is it 7 years? Can somebody help me, please? We are in the 7th year now, guys. We are in the 7th year. It is time to break this covenant with this government. And if the DLP was in and were doing this kind of things to us, then we needed to break the covenant. If the UPP was in and did this to us, we needed to break the covenant. If Solutions Barbados was in and did this kind of wickedness to the people of Barbados, we needed to break the covenant. This is not partisan politics, folks. This is not being partisan. Folks, the hospital went up in flames. The Barbados government hospital, Gemmett's Lane, was gutted out by fire 1 day after this administration went into office. And I'm telling you, call me a conspiracy theorist. What a coincidence, isn't it? Oh, what a coincidence. And it was later on to have 2 or 3 more fires. Folks, This was being planned. Correct, totally transactional. This is the same prime minister who does not wear the flag of Barbados on her left breast, as would be all the leaders or their foreign ministers. When she travels, well, at the UN, let me say that, and because I can only say that at the UN, that Barbadians, listen to me. Listen to what I'm telling you. This is not propaganda. That is troubling. You need to be concerned about that. It ain't working no more. What did I say the name of the show was? Bim is waking up, eyes wide open. Eyes wide open, because the covenant, we're breaking covenant. We're breaking covenant. Dave, look at this here, man. Look at this here, man. Listen, I have so many things, so many more to say to you. But this is where I need to go tonight, because I went slow because I want you to understand it. You see? All right. So look at this here now. Look at this here, folks. Dave, put this up. I know I didn't send you this. I didn't plan. I wasn't too sure if I was going to do this, but I got up this morning after 3, and this, I was reminded of this. Do you know? Do you know? Do you know? Do you know? And I want to say to my fellow Barbadians, oh, you see, I get excited and then I said, Dave, you have it right there. Sorry. It's so good to have an amazing husband who prays for me and supports me and makes sure, oh Lord, is that quick. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate you and what you do for Barbados. Listen, folks, I want to show you the covenant that you went into with this administration. You, and the government, you listening? The people eyes wake up wide open, and they're breaking, they're starting from tonight, that this covenant with Barbados is broken tonight. Dave, open this up here for me, please. Open this up. I want to see that first page because I wanted the people to see what it says. We can't get it any bigger. I want you to stop and want you to read. Okay? Okay. Okay. Now come over, so come over and come down. All right. Okay, so now go to the other side so we can see the top. All the way down. We want to see the top. What? Okay. What does it say there? Not the BLP side. What did you read underneath the BLP side? Tell me what it says under the BLP sign. I'm getting to be a strict teacher now. Stop writing, please. Please. I really want us to get this tonight. Yes, it so happened my guests were coming late, and so I got this time to speak with you. What does it say on here? What does it say? Covenant. Skylar, rush to the front of the class. Skylar. Judith and Clark, come forward. Tony Paris, come forward. In 2018, the people of Barbados went into a covenant with this government. Oh, yes, we did. This same government who sought to take remains of dead people or dead ancestors to Ghana. That's what they allege. It's alleged that they took. I told you what they took, but that is what their plan was, to take the bones of dead people. They go and dig up the dead. We signed a covenant with them. This is the same government who took the Barbadian flag, wrap it around a casket. The same prime minister who refuses to wear the national emblem, the flag, on her left breast, like all the other world leaders of representing their countries. That same one took the flag, the sacred flag, wrap it around a casket, which is supposed to have dead bones in it. Supposed to. And they didn't just wrap it around a casket. They take the flag that they wrap around a casket and put it down in the ground. Dig a hole and put the flag round in the casket in the ground. Now, if I told this to anybody, people would think, say to themselves, so wait, that person is doing a spiritual ritual. If I were to I used to teach theater arts, and we talk about rituals and so on, and you have to look at all of these age. It sounds like a ritual. Your plan is to take the bones of dead people, okay? And then you take and put it in a casket. You take your national flag and you wrap it around the casket, dig a hole and hold a minute. If somebody came and told you they were doing that, you wouldn't think that's something strange with it. The point at digging up dead bones, dead people bones, just that alone. But they could take our national emblem and wrap it around a flag, around a casket, and then put it. Right, this is not this one we're showing. Don't play it, Dave, because don't play it. This is not the right one. This is this I want to make because I want to tell truth. This is someone created this. You know, they use AI. I don't know, but they did something. But this is not the actual thing that happened because it was not concrete. It was so this that is on the screen is it resembles it, but it's not the actual thing that happened. Okay? Because it was dirt. All right. So we could try and if we try to find that, then but really and truly, we have it on our thing, but it's not correct. Okay. Now we're talking about covenants here. They put it in the ground and started to shovel dirt on top of the flag. Lord have his mercy. They start to shovel dirt on top of the flag. You hear what I tell you? Until, and I like to tell the truth is that after they covered it, then somebody must have told them something and they took out the flag. So I'm not going to come here and spread. I'm going to tell what I know as truth. Okay? The point is, at some point, the flag was dirt. The flag was buried at some point. At some point, the flag was buried. Anybody else that you put that to, they would say this is a spiritual ritual. It sounds like it sounds ritualistic. And it is that government that we made a covenant with. We went into, they called their manifesto. Who remembered? Barbados, listen, I tell you, eyes wide open tonight, you know. Don't fall back to sleep. Open your eyes wide. Come on. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Wake up now, come on. Don't drop back to sleep. This is this administration's manifesto. Correct? This is a manifesto. It's called a covenant of hope. I didn't get a chance to do a research, but isn't it odd that someone would call a manifesto a covenant? Anybody, am I being spooky? Listen, there's so many words that could be used. A covenant could be an agreement and so on. But whenever you use the word covenant, it's usually used in a spiritual setting, isn't it? Usually. In this kind, I mean, you have covenants in terms of lands and so on. But I'm talking about, because the meaning of it. How many of you, what do you all think about that? Let me just look up the meaning of the word covenant. Don't you think, I think it is strange that of all the words that could be used and all the synonyms, contract, right? Okay, agreement, understanding, a promise, a pledge, commitment. Do you see this whole ritual thing I'm showing you? Bones, casket, flag wrap around casket, put down in a hole. Then look at the word covenant. Why? I don't know of anybody else. And at the moment, I have not done a full research of it. But a covenant used in this sense is usually done in a church, in a spiritual setting. When it's used as an agreement, right? Because a covenant could be the deed conveying the land, contained restrictive covenants. So we understand that that word is also relating to land and conveyance, the deeds and so on. We understand that. But I find that it is, I could be, right? So the name of the manifesto was a covenant of hope. And you know what? Myself, Kimar, and Caswell, we went through this with this show already, to show that it was a covenant, that was made, I want to remind you of something. See that? They put all the pledge on it. They said that it's a new covenant. Why they couldn't use agreement? Why it has to be this word? Call me stupid, but you see, I'm connecting all of what happened before. Eyes wide open, Barbados. Open up your spiritual eyes, everybody. You don't have to go to, it's all nothing to do with church. They says it's a new covenant. They never call the second manifesto. You might say, well, it's just the name of their manifesto. Why didn't they call the second one a covenant? They did not. They did not call the second one a covenant. And I tell you, this was the first that they want, that they put out. Later on, then the word covenant was left off. If go and research it and see what I'm talking about. This is the first time that they presented their manifesto to the people of Barbados. And the covenant signed with Mayor Motley, this Jerome Walcott, Sandy Field Kelman, president of the Women's League, president of the League of Young Socialists, secretary of the Parliamentary Party. I don't know those names. I can't make them out. Folks, this is what I'm saying to us. And I don't know what else to say to us, but that we need to break the covenant. I'm putting that out in the atmosphere. Those of you who know what to do will know what to do. Those of you who know what to do know what to do. I don't know. I can put it to Mr. people like Mr. Murray and the others, but I tell you, I believe it is my view. There is something. We went into a spiritual arrangement. That's what I think. How many of you remembered? Where were you when this government took a plane load? They chartered a plane and took almost some of everybody went to Ghana. How many of you remembered that? When they say they took the bones, that's what they said. And they wrapped the flag on the coffin and put it in the ground and threw dirt on it. How many of you remember what happened the day after that was reported, when we saw that going around on social media? Do you all remember? Because I remember. Do you all remember that we had, I think, was it 2 days of blackout in Barbados? Am I wrong in saying 2 days, or was it 1 day? The electricity went. Light and power, they were trying to fix the problem. Am I off with that? I didn't look that up before I came on. Was it 3 days that the electricity was off? Can somebody tell me, help me, guys? We're doing this thing together, and I don't want to put out wrong stuff on. I honestly did. I was supposed to look it up this morning, but I didn't get a chance to. So there were different times when the power went off. I'm talking about when they went to Ghana. When they went to Ghana, the day after it was reported of what happened with the flag, power went off in this country. 2 days, yes. Thank you, Hasbro. I think it's 2 days. It's either 2 or 3 days. You remember it was like and it is said that when the Prime Minister came back to Barbados, she had a big row with Light and Power, etc. You remember that story? If somebody could find it for me and send me the link so that I we speak truth on the show. Yeah. I'm just checking my, not being rude, I'm checking my phone to see if anybody sent me anything, folks, because okay, I will send a YouTube video to you, Dave. Somebody sent me, I'm not sure what it is, But, you know, we're doing this thing together tonight. We're waking up together. Yes. Listen, something happened in this country. And I honestly believe this slew of murders that we are seeing, senseless killings, people stabbed in the daylight, broad daylight in the street, in a whole town, 13-year-old shot, watching, all of this is connected, folks. Huh? I want us to know, folks, that it is time Barbados rise up and break the covenant. I believe if we do not break the covenant, we're going to see worse things happening in this country. I honestly believe that it is as a result of a covenant that we went into with this administration. This administration, and I will say it, and this is not the view of the others, I am saying my view. I believe this administration, it is not just you know, they're not just here to govern and here to whatever else they do. I believe that there is a spiritual side to what's going on. There's a ritualistic side. There's a ritual side. There's something that is happening to the country spiritually. Some of you might be quite upset with me, but I'm just being real. And I'm saying to you, watch what is happening. The 20th with this concert and this whole thing. May 25th is coming up. Yes, thank you, peace. Correct. Because they went, yes, peace. Peace, oh Lord. When did they go into office? 2018. When was the flag taken and the bones? The 2019. Folks, we are wrapped up into something that is deeper than us here. And most of you, I know a lot of you some people might be so mad they don't want to watch the show again, but I can't, you wonder why is, Marcia doing this, and people say, oh, she just, hates the PM, and I see something. Do you know, someone sent me the statistics that as of right now, the crime rate in Barbados has surpassed the crime rate in Jamaica. That makes sense to you? Do you realize that we are mourning every day? Do you realize what is going on every day? Guys, you're liking it. You know they're gonna report this one. You know they're gonna report this one. Take a moment and do some liking and sharing. And I want to tell you, it's not, listen to me. Do you know that a lot of this enlightenment that I've come into and the understanding, all of it didn't come from the Christian church. It came from my Rastafari brothers and sisters. I call them brothers and sisters. They're people. And they're spiritual people. So, all throughout this country. Do you think all of this enlightenment came? It didn't just, it was on this show that Caswell and Kimar showed me. Marcia, look, it says a covenant of hope. Right here on the show, I remember over a year ago. And none of them are pastors or anything. Listen, folks, we're in trouble. We are second day. I don't know. I know there was a time when the monkey went into the wire. You remember that? The monkey, well, how many days was that? Was that the longest one? This power outage started when they were in Ghana. The power outages started when they were in Ghana. I remembered. I noted it. I was up at my school today and I sat on my veranda and I said, the school, I said, wow, this is deep. Folks, break the covenant. They think we're under a spell. They think they put us under a spell. That's what they think. They think that they have done their hocus pocus and they put us under a spell. But BIM is waking up, eyes wide open now. We're not just a voice, we're a frequency. But BIM is waking up, eyes wide open now. Folks, a lot to think about. Are you sharing it? Yes. So Caribbean Life says 2-day blackout in Barbados. Thank you. Major power outage in Barbados. Yes, Dave, that's the same one. Reuters, yes. So this was put on the internationally they were talking about this unusual blackout. Yes, that's we're gonna have a show. We need to. A lot of people don't realize that. That Alex. A lot of people don't realize that. And when you start to do these kind of things, everybody starts to say, you know. But I know we're not going to do that. As Kami's saying, I'm just going to keep going. I'm waiting. I'm waiting on my guests, but I guess I needed to speak to you straight tonight. Tonight I needed to speak with you. I know that there are some people who do not you do not believe in. You're very scientific, and that's fine. You know, that's how your mind thinks. That's fine, and that's okay. I would not be doing this, my people. Remember, I am an artist. I'm not a politician. I don't intend to be one. That's not my intention here. I was called to do it, you see? And that's why I come on with such fervor and power each whenever I come on. I'm not, even if I'm down, things are happening, I come on and I get going because there's something bigger that is pushing all of us and have joined us all together. Yes, we have to stay in the light. We have to stay in the light. They have started. Listen, I like to wear my beads and so on, and my African stuff. But there are some things and there's some things, okay? But I want to go into all of that, okay? But I want to say there are just too many things when you put them all together. Why is this manifesto called a covenant? Why didn't they, if that's the name of their manifesto, why wasn't the in 2022, why wasn't that manifesto called that? Do you see what I mean? Something for me seems odd. It seems like we're in a spiritual arrangement with this entity. It seems to me we are in a spiritual arrangement with this entity. While we're at that, any other thoughts? Anybody have? Let me read the comment section, and then Dave, if you could put up, Dave, that link about Kenya up for me. So tonight we talked about the fact that that hospital was paid for by us, by the people. 2,500 bought the land and the building. Carlisle House, it was the name of it, from Colonel Jamat. Okay, we talked about that tonight. We talked about the covenant of hope that we made. We went into that covenant. We showed you that the day after we joined with that covenant, how this same Gemmett's Lane that went up in flames the day after. Could be a coincidence. To me, I don't think it is. There's too many fires. And they're telling the people, I heard they're telling people in Nelson Street that a lot of these places have been gutted out by fire, that they cannot build back. Did you hear that? Did you see that in the newspaper? Now, let's move into some legal matters here. So all of them, all of you church people, you go, a lot of us eyes were white, were shut closed. If you can shut closed. Close the shut. Washing feet, all of that was done. Tricked, sorcery, bamboozled, manipulated, deceived, sorcery, have your head spinning like so. I heard of people who say they had planned to vote one way and then they're going into the booth and then they had just changed and they voted another way. Sorcery. Yes. And you can't do nothing to me. Covered by the blood. Sorcery. Break the covenant. However you do it. And if the DLP was in power and they did this, I would be here April 9th, 2025, telling you break that covenant. If the UPP had done this, I would say break the covenant. They think we do, but let me tell you, BIM is waking up, eyes wide open now. Anyway, let's come off of that a little bit. And the scientific people and those of legal minds, you can bring your mind back over here. All right, so let's look. This is April 8th, 2025. Look at it. Read with me. I want us to do it together. I don't know where my guests are tonight, but you know how these things can work out, kind of divine. April 8th, 2025. This is the Kenya Times. So look, let's look at the picture. So we see who is this on the left? Alex, we don't want to hear from you. Alex won't call this man all kind of names. Who is this on the left? On your on your left. Bill Gates. And on the right is Mia's friend, the Prime Minister of Barbados' friend, that is imprisoning young people. Young people are going missing, coming up dead in Kenya. That's her friend, Ruto. And they seem to have selected Ruto for Africa and Prime Minister Motley for the Caribbean. Yes, these international entities. So this is Gates, and this is Ruto. That's the Kenyan flag in there, somewhere in the middle there. But let's go to the heading. Let's go to the heading, Dave. The heading up above the picture. Thank you very much. Gates Foundation withdraws from diplomatic immunity agreement with Kenya. What does this remind you of? So those of you now, come back with me, because I lost some of you earlier, probably. I'm hoping not. But come with your legal minds and the science minds, and let's bring back everything over here now. What does this remind you of? What it reminds you of? Who can tell me? All right. What does diplomatic immunity agreement? Does this sound familiar? I'm not going to move on until you tell me what it is. Yeah, no, not Africa Bridge. Dave, you should not have put it. I wanted the people to get it. Yes, Pedro. Pedro, run to the front of the class. We're going to give Pedro, this teacher going to give Pedro candy today. They say you can't eat candy, it will rot in your teeth. Yes. So here it is in Kenya. There was a similar arrangement that Ruto went into with Bill Gates. Let's read all about it now. Bring the hearts and minds together now. Come, guys, make a read together. Because we're in class together, Remember, we wake up. The Gates Foundation has withdrawn from the host country agreement with Kenya after uproar and legal hurdles. Read that for yourself and make it sink in. The Gates Foundation has withdrawn from the host country agreement with Kenya after what? Uproar and legal hurdles. Any lawyers in the loyal opposition pressure group watching? I see Mr. Lewis is there, my only guest tonight. I don't see my people from Guyana who's supposed to be here. Read into it. Listen. In a statement, Gates Foundation Africa Director Dr. Pauline Basinga confirmed the withdrawal of the host country agreement with Kenya. Dr. Basinga cited the ongoing legal case surrounding the host country agreement, stating that it has drawn attention away from their core mission. Statement by the Gates Foundation. The Gates Foundation is committed to building on 2 decades of partnership with the people and communities of Kenya to advance health and economic opportunity. The legal case surrounding the host country agreement has drawn attention away from our core mission. To maintain focus on our work and partnership in Kenya, we will continue our branch office operations in the country, but transition away from the host country agreement. During the court proceedings this morning, the court was informed that the Gates Foundation and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs have mutually withdrawn from the host country agreement. Were you watching the show when we showed you the agreement that was signed by the host country, Barbados, and the Afrexim Bank? Who remember? Who remember? This is the same type of agreement. Barbados signed an agreement with the Afrexim Bank. We showed you where they got immunity. Do you remember that? Who remembered? Who remembered? Liana said yes, she remembered. We are in an agreement as of right now with Afrexim Bank concerning, and what we are doing, what's happening is that we're giving them immunity. Yes, Sherlock. Yes. Okay. It says now more than ever, we look forward to focusing on the people and partners who drive this work, collaborating with our grantees to create lasting impact for a healthier, more prosperous Kenya and the region. The High Court has, however, issued fresh orders over the decision by the government to grant special privileges and immunity to the Gates Foundation, formerly known as the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. In a ruling on Tuesday, April 8th, yesterday, 2025, the High Court issued a 21-day ultimatum to the government to provide evidence of withdrawal of diplomatic immunity offered to the foundation. I wonder, am I talking to myself tonight? The fresh orders came after the court in 2024 issue conservatory orders suspending the Gazette notice that had granted special privileges and immunity to the foundation pending the hearing and the determination of the case filed by the Law Society of Kenya. So all that happened was this. The Gates Foundation wanted to set up and establish their some kind of domain inside of Kenya, just like what the Afrexim Bank, it's not a bank, but they are setting up in Kenya, and the Kenyan government went and gave them immunity and special privileges. The Law Society of Kenya decided to challenge it in court. The Law Society of Kenya decided to challenge it in court. I am asking, do we have any lawyers out there listening to me? I see the similarities. Lawyers, can you see the similarities? Can a case be brought concerning the immunity and the special privileges? The Gates Foundation is chaired by U.S. billionaire businessman and Microsoft founder Bill Gates, who also doubles up as philanthropist. Kenya granted the American Foundation a special status through a legal notice number 157 on October 4th, 2024 by Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi. Justice Bahati Wamayu had in a November 25th, 2024 ruling ordered the suspension and prohibited any members of the foundation from continuing to enjoy any privileges and immunities. I just want I want to know if you understand. So before I go any further, I see Mr. Lewis there. Mr. Lewis, give me a few minutes here as you I want to talk to the people tonight, okay? Can you write in the comment section what you understand from what I am saying here tonight? Right? There's a reason my guest did not show up tonight. Write in the comment section for me, everybody. What am I showing you tonight? Thank you, Dave. Dave, you gotta come to the front of the class. So Dave is showing us what the privileges are that are given to the Afrexim Bank. Immunity of property and assets. The property and assets of the bank. This is now the agreement that we signed. The property and assets of the bank, wherever located and by whomsoever held, shall be inviolable and shall be immune from search, requisition, expropriation, confiscation, nationalization, and all other forms of seizure, taking or foreclosure by executive or legislative action, and seizure, attachment, or execution before the delivery of final judgment or award against the bank. Without prejudice to the provisions of paragraph 1, the property and assets of the bank shall be subject to due legal processes and judicial action taken by ordinary courts of competent jurisdiction, etc. And thing. And it goes on to talk. There's a section that talks about the privileges of the taxes and they don't pay no taxes and so on. But I am saying, Pedro, this is what I'm saying, and this is what I want. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up now. Come in here, past Mr. Lewis. Wake up, Barbados. Wake up, Barbados. Wake up, Barbados. Come on. Everybody stretch. Stretch. Hands up, stretch. Eyes wide open. Come on, Barbados. So hold a minute. We are lay people and we're reading something here. Can a lawyer message me, please? Dave, send it to me. Send that, let me see if any lawyers are on. Any lawyers messaging me? Dave, lawyers that we know, send the article to them. We want them to come and talk to us. The lawyers in Barbados that your parents, some of you or your parents are very poor, and they toiled in this country and sent you to law school, for you just to be racking up, I don't know, I'm going to say millions or thousands or whatever. It's good to have a nice house, Mr. Lewis. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
But come on, man, take one for the people, now. Lawyers, take one for the people of Barbados. Let us try and see if this thing got overturned. Am I talking nonsense, Mr. Lewis? Good night.
Good night to the loyal opposition. You got me here thinking, Marcia.
Tell me what you're thinking.
Boy, in terms of the potential of the Kenyan society to take a stance on this issue and to have Bill Gates now, going back to the drawing board and revisiting his policies with the Kenyan government, it says to me that, this is not a closed case, because if our legal system, if our lawyers here, if our this environment, this early on, would, can certainly entertain the same stance that the Kenyan society took, And of course, you can see some benefits from it. And Bill Gates now is taking a different stance, and he is technically withdrawing from that environment of immunity. So it is, it is worth, and I like your cry, for the legal minds to come forward and give us, a better assessment as to what exists when we look at what is happening in Kenya.
But Mr. Lewis, did you see this show just went a whole different way tonight, to be honest. But did you see why? Dave, can you show Mr. Lewis again? And I want Mr. Lewis. I know I'm putting you on the spot. I'm being a teacher tonight.
Yes, yes.
And I thought I had a full show, and it's such a pity I don't have Miss McLean on tonight. Oh, wow, Miss McLean, put on your clothes and come on. Miss McLean, put on clothes. Miss McLean, put on clothes. I'm telling the big woman, that's my auntie, that's my big auntie. Say what you want to talk about. Oh, because I'm close to her, that I'm a DLP. Please give me a break. Listen, Miss McLean, put on your clean clothes and your lipstick and thing, and come on here, because this year bigger than me.
Come, Maxine. We need you. We need your legal mind, Maxine.
I need you on here because, and I want to say something here, and I want to shout out to the loyal opposition. Loyal opposition, take a bow. I didn't go researching for this. You sent this to me. This is why at the start of the program, I told the people, Mr. Lewis, they could do whatever they want to do. I heard somebody come on here and say that they must deport me, which I can't because I'm a citizen. But even if you were to deport me, get rid of me, close down the show, this movement will never stop. I don't even know the person who sent me this. We are 280,000 strong. They can't stop us, Mr. Lewis.
The pressure on.
The pressure is on. Now, Mr. Lewis, read this. Let's read this document and let's see how they stopped. Why Bill Gates had to run with his tail between his legs and forget the whole deal with Kenya. Okay. Go up some more, dear Dave. Yeah, when I say up, I mean to the top. To the top. The top. Thank you. Read, Mr. Lewis. You're a student. You're a child of Herod. But read the first line. The first two lines are in bold.
The Gates Foundation has withdrawn from the host country agreement with Kenya after uproar and legal hurdles.
Read it again.
Talk it up. The Gates Foundation has withdrawn from the host country agreement with Kenya after uproar and legal hurdles.
Wheel and come again and read it again, Mr.
One more time. Bring it back down. Hold it there, Dave. The Gates Foundation has withdrawn from the host country agreement with Kenya after uproar and legal hurdles. But you see, those are two key statements there, After uproar. And uproar is subjective. We got to look at that deep. What transpired in Kenya, what in actual fact transpired in Kenya that constitutes an uproar with legal hurdles, meaning barriers are being placed in the way. So it wasn't accepted by the Kenyan people, lock, stock, and barrel, but folks had challenges with what has occurred in Kenya. And we will have challenges with what is hopefully will occur in Barbados with respect to this whole immunity.
Keep talking. You talk. It's your turn because it's too much for me Keep talking,
Yes.
mister. Keep talking,
Yes.
mister.
You
Keep talking.
see, we need to do some investigation relative to this uproar. And I think, that we got to dig a little deeper to find out what is an actual fact related to this whole concept of uproar in Kenya. Uproar we may be able to think that the people in Kenya did not agree with the whole concept of immunity for the Bill Gates Foundation. So there may have been marches, there may have been protests in many significant ways. So we have got to do some investigations to find out what in actual fact transpired, that it didn't go down well, or is not going down well with the Kenyan people. What constitutes the whole concept of an uproar, and what are the legal hurdles? So then it wasn't lock, stock, and barrel swallowed by the Kenyan people, but of course, legal hurdles meaning that some person took a stance. Some person took a stance. And I don't think that the person got fired for going contrary to the expectation of the Kenyan government.
This is deep. This is deep. And the uproar, we have control over the uproar. And if the lawyers need money, we will pay you, lawyers. We don't want you to work for free. Lawyers, we don't want you to work for free. It would be nice that you do it for your country for free, right, Mr. Lewis?
Of course, of course, of course.
Mr. Lewis, did you hear that it was the people who paid according to the museum, unless the museum is telling fake history? The museum, on their website, they said that the people of Barbados paid £2,500. They collected money, Mr. Lewis, and they bought the land and they bought the building for $2,500. It was paid for by the people of Barbados. It's right here before us. And they took up the people's property and gave it free of cost to the Afrexim Bank. Yes. And it belonged entirely, not our taxes. It wasn't taxes. It was money that was given voluntarily. And then they come and put people on it and tell us that the people have immunity. Thank God for Mr. Glenn Murray, who explained what all of that meant for us. Mr. Murray, if you're watching, that it's like an embassy. He's the one who came on and told us it's like an embassy. Caswell came and followed up. And here we're told that the same thing was going to happen in Kenya with the billionaire Gates, and the people made an uproar and presented legal challenges. Therefore, they had to back down. What did Gates say? Folks, stay with us. Stay with us. We're going somewhere tonight. Dave, if we can see the other one. Thank you, Lemuel. That's even worse. Look at what Lemuel said. The Gates Foundation is a charitable organization, but the Afrexim Bank is private. So that's even worse. So the thing that we can control is the uproar, right, Mr. We can control the uproar, Mr.
Yes,
Mr. Lewis,
yeah, of course, but I would
we
like
can
to
take
know.
care of the uproar. You don't have to be a lawyer to have an uproar, right?
Well, the uproar has begun already. The march
Yep.
is Constitution uproar. This
Well,
show
I
here,
tell you,
Constitution uproar. The
I,
media constitutes an uproar. All the calling programs, brass tacks and all the above, we can hear the uproar there. So there are many different individuals, who they're not happy with what is going on. And certainly, at the end of the day, we know very well that what transpired in Kenya, if we do have any individuals in this country that can take a stance, maybe we need Dr. Hayes now to come in and take a stance, because it is not a political statement. She doesn't want to be politically correct. She wants to be righteous in terms of her delivery.
yeah, I see Abraham Millington is calling me.
Mm-hmm.
You see, the people in Kenya, they're not playing. If you watch these protests in Kenya, they don't play. But the thing about us, we don't need to burn down anywhere, Mr. Lewis.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. But it is interesting what is going on, when we think that this building would have been sold to the people and there was a board of trustees. If there was a board of trustees, then, why is it that the government believing in themselves that they have been emboldened to the point where they can just take up the land that has been placed, you know, on in a board of trustees, which constitutes that the land now is the property of the people of Barbados, and who gives who gives any government the right that they can just take up the land and just give it away? That's taking our land and giving it to another country. Who
You
gives them the
know,
right to do that?
and then give them the people immunity.
I saw there was an article there that I think that where you interviewed folks from the National Street area, and one individual, in his remarks said that at the end of the day, with all of this development, they're gonna just be ending up to be gardeners, maids, you know, gardeners, maids, and some other blue collar job there that he mentioned. And I think it is rather unfortunate because when we listen to Dr. Crystal Haynes, who would have given her position as to what has occurred in on the West Coast, wall to wall to wall, then we are having now the West Coast environment being replicated now um, on that area of Bridgetown, our heritage site. And that would be the whole concept of wall to wall to wall. And he made another comment there that was very significant. He said, I saw what happened when they built the central bank. When we know that area there, what's the name of that area again? When you come on out opposite Harson's College, can't remember the name of the street. But that little village there that was totally removed, just opposite Queen's Park. When you come out on, I think that's Crumpton Street.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That whole village there was taken out. Everybody gone. You know. So that whole village was disrupted, removed from there. And of course, I don't know where they would have gone to, but I believe that they would have gone inland as opposed to occupying an area like that where just 2 steps down the street and they're to the beach, right? And they would have seen what transpired there
Mm-hmm.
at the development of the central bank, and they are looking at a similar behavior now by the government for the establishment of all of these different these different structures that they're proposing for that area. So all of those folks from Nelson Street, are being subjected to the same fate,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it
You
is very
know,
unfortunate, you know. All of those individuals there, if you can look at what is going on now on the West Coast, we've reached a stage now in our development where we can see, all of these maids and gardeners and, waiters and all the above. All of these folks now are just, with all due respect, um, no insultment, but these are glorified slaves in this day and age, right? Glorified slaves, because we are developing the whole West Coast. Look at the ownership for Bajans on the West Coast. Look at all those properties, all those businesses right along up the West Coast. And what part do Bajans play in that landscape? Gardeners, maids, cooks, waiters. How many of them are chief executive officers? How many of them are managers? How many of them are owners? This is what we want. I said before that, in St. Joseph, we had the Atlantis Hotel, owned by Miss Maxwell, a Bajan, a black Bajan. She owned another restaurant there in Bathsheba. This is something that we want. We want to see hotels owned by Bajans. We want to see apartment building. If we're going to be going away from sugar and, going into tourism, we want to see apartments being owned by Bajan, that when tourists come here, they'll go to those apartments, and we the Bajans will benefit. We want to see hotels being owned by Bajans. We've developed the whole
Mr.
West
Lewis,
Coast.
let me just
Huh?
send a message here to Dave. Dave, on that
Mhm.
note, just to compliment what Mr. Lewis is saying, if you could put up the one you sent me, Dave, on the pierhead, let the people see and let them realize that there's no room for little people like us in that setup there.
Yeah,
In the pierhead, in town. Put that up, Dave, before Miss McLean comes on.
yeah. I saw that you carried a show there on the West Coast where you were looking at access to the beach and all those little nooks and crannies that we've got to crawl through. This is where tourism has brought us. There's no big parking lot. I am very concerned about where we go now to Bronx Beach, because you have some development there opposite this stoplight, some activity going on there by the government building, and that has infringed on the car park significantly. Then we had another little car park there opposite government headquarters, right near the Esplanade. All of those areas that we would have gone there as a people and we can sit back, park your vehicle, take out your lunch chair, take out your umbrella, take out everything, take out your cooler and all the above, and go down to the beach and relax. That is something now that we can enjoy going to Bronx Beach. And that appears to be coming to an end.
Yeah.
You can't do that. You can't do that practically nowhere. Maybe in Fitz Village, you might be able to just drive in there by the church, and do a little chill in that area. But there isn't, when you go to Folkestone don't offer much. There isn't no beach areas in there in Folkestone area where you can go and put your lunch chair and sit down and relax on the sand. It's an insult to Bajans that the West Coast, the most beautiful area, we can have a location, one, two, or at least three of them, like what exists on Bronx Beach. It's for us, Bajans. But I want to get back to that point, though.
Yeah.
You got something there on
Let
the
me show
screen.
you. Let me show
Yeah,
you something here. Folks, again, everybody, stop typing for a little bit, folks. Stop reading the comments for a little bit and watch the screen. All right. I'm being a little like a teacher tonight. So I want you to just watch the screen right now. Okay. So this is how they are marketing the pierhead. Okay. So Dave, go back to the top, please. Again, thank you. This is a pierhead Bridgetown, Barbados. So you see all the development is happening, the construction, all of what's happening there in the Pierhead. And they are advertising it as a new kind of island living. Okay, it's a new kind of island living. Go up a little bit, Dave, just a tiny bit. Thank you. A new kind of island living. It's coming to market in 2025. This is how they're selling out the thing, right? Listen, Mr. Lewis. You can stop me anytime. Stop me anytime, Mr. Lewis.
Yeah, go with it. Go with it.
Where urban meets laid back beach life. I want to know is which beach I'm talking about. Where urban meets laid back beach life. Interweaving past and present through stunning architecture and creativity, this new development tips its hat to the dream of what it means to live on the beautiful and historic island of Barbados. Overlooking one of the island's most spectacular beaches, Carlisle Bay. It is a striking tribute to the city's heritage while boasting amazing views of the ocean. There it is. There it is. It looks beautiful. It is shiny.
So Marcia, bearing me. What's that? What that's supposed to be?
Concrete and glass.
Huh?
Concrete and glass.
So where will that fit? That is where the liquidation center
yes.
Is?
No, not liquidation, beyond liquidation. So you know where Manning's
down the Pierhead, down in the corner.
Yes, you know where is Manning's, Dave?
Yes.
Furniture store.
Yes,
and I went there. Caven's Lane.
I went there. Normally we would drive into the car park, and you can walk right down to there's a mulch there at the end on top of the rocks.
Yes.
Yeah, before you look over.
And right on the left side there is a slave burial ground. When they started to excavate, there were remains of the enslaved. The late Mr. Watson told me about that. The late Trevor Marshall told me about that. So all of that is now concrete. I would like to know where here that we're looking on the screen, Dave, the picture change, where there will we be able, so this is it right now, right there?
Yeah, but I want to know from what direction are we looking at there?
So they're not people not going to be bathing in this. What they're talking about is the beach that is around the corner there, the left. Nice, a beautiful beach.
Yeah, but you see right there at the end we have that white spot. That is where the sandbank. Yeah, that's where the sandbank is rising. The sun is coming back in there, and that's the little Pierhead there at the end. You can see the mulch. If you can go back to that picture there, to the left there, you see those mulch trees there to the left?
Yes.
Yeah, when you go right to the left, that is where the beach ends. When you go right to the left, that is where the beach ends. When you are running on the sand on Bronx Beach, you can look over there, and you can look over at the screw docks where the ships used to be repaired, right? Yeah, that's it there. You know, so I don't know what beach these folks can have. They're gonna be able to look out at the careenage. And I don't know.
No. They're gonna look out, but right next to it, because I was just down there. I'm sorry I don't have that footage to put up. On the next to it, there's a beautiful beach right there.
To the left.
Yes.
Right. Starting from that mulch tree and going up.
Yes.
That's the beach area.
That's the beach area. So what it is, and so they would not be building this here if they could not use. So somewhere along there, the beach is going to be there, so they can use that beach, because they advertise the beach in the write-up, in the publication. Right? You really can have it all. This picture perfect island living is because they're promoting as a new island living. It's for people, Dave, it's the people who want to live their best life. Enjoy your morning coffee with a side of bobbing sailboats and palm trees, or tucked into fresh seaweed while watching the local boats bring in the catch of the day. Located right in the heart of Bridgetown, there's easy access to the airport, outdoor adventure, as well as quiet solitude. Now, what I want to say is that we in Barbados, we want to experience that too. And I remembered we used to have our school used to be around there. We were right there overlooking the pierhead. And I
But
remember
my concern there now, Marcia, because as it is now, being the 9th of April 2025, Bronx Beach is crowded. On evenings, you have walkers, you have runners, you have a whole lot of, beach culture. You have people utilizing the thing with their kayaks, the whole works. Everybody can come. You can park. You can come with the Jeep. You come on with your jet skis, the whole works. So that whole Bronx Beach now is a very active area on the 9th of April 2025. When we build all of those establishments there, then, where will we be? Can I be able to, or will we be able to just drive down the Bronx Beach as we did before, park and get out and enjoy the beach as we did before? I know that at time I went with my cast net. I was somewhere up on the south coast, behind one of those hotels, in my cast net. And a guard came to tell me I can't cast my net in that area because the fish there is for the tourists to come and see. Now they were the sprats and jacks, maybe around May,
hold
June,
a minute,
July.
you want fish to eat, and they want to eat the
Yes,
fish so the tourists to see.
but that's my recreation. That's my recreation. Where I park, I get my bucket, I throw my net over my back, and I take my time and walk and go around, look for the sprats and the jacks, and relax and enjoy myself. The guard come down. In this day and age, that's why I said we are now developing glorified slaves. So the guard now, I have a job. I'm the security officer at this hotel. You cannot throw your net there. I said, what are you talking about? You cracking bare jokes, I remember, brother, go and relax yourself. So I went on and I enjoyed myself as usual. I catch my bait, some I eat, some I use for bait. We go in the boat and we relax and enjoy ourselves, right? And that was further up the south coast, So I don't know now what kind of things now will be imposed on us when we start to utilize that stretch of Bronx Beach. Bronx Beach, man, it's a wonderful area. Here people go and they do their running in the morning, they do your walking, and now you're gonna have this whole place be packed up with people. And I don't know. I don't know. I saw some man, it burns my heart.
No,
It
no, no,
burns
you
my
go
heart.
ahead.
I am saying that we have got to look out at the people, that this whole concept of private beaches may be on the horizon for this country. We've got to be careful. We've got to be seriously careful because this whole design concept, it may not be written that they are private beaches in Barbados, but by design, you're going to exclude people along that stretch of Bronx Beach. By looking out for it.
But can I ask, I see Miss McLean getting ready to come on. And we soon open up the lines. We're not ready to open up the lines yet. We want us to soak it in today tonight as a family. Imagine you're going to have something like this, and you won't have Nelson Street cross the right across there, and Wellington. You can see that happening.
No.
Folks, let me ask the people, because we're talking together here with the almost 1,200 of you watching. You can really see the little like a black people that down in Nelson Street and Wellington Street running, and like the other day, them pure gunshots licking and they're firing and people running and every minute fire and this and stabbing down at Nelson Street, and that building is there in the Pierhead. You can see that there. You can see those things work coexist.
No, 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 no. Nelson Street can't coexist with that. No, we don't want no red light districts around. All of those people gone. Gone. You know?
Gentrification. I think Miss McLean, if you're ready, give me a thumbs up. All right. She ready and she put on her clothes. She look good. She put on her clothes. She put on her clothes and she look good.
Yes, look at that side there, man. Where will I run? Where will I be running on that beach? You know, where will I be running on that beach? And you see all the umbrellas red and the chairs red. Who bring this picture here, daughter? Who brought this picture? Take that picture off the screen there, man. Ah.
Welcome, Miss McLean, in your
Good evening, Victor.
You see, I tell her, I said, Auntie Maxie, go
put it back.
And I dressed up properly, you see.
Yes, that's how we do it.
I was having my chop. What chop? Some lolly from Baiko when I heard you, but before, but I good evening, Victor, again, and your listeners. But before we go back to Kenya, because I sent you an article you sent me as I was eating my dinner to do some research, because that was the first time I was hearing that. And I have an article which I sent to Dave, and when I comment, I want him to put it up, and I sent it to you too.
Yes.
But you know, Marcia, Victor asked an important question. You know that I go to the beach almost daily. I didn't go this morning because I got news that the sea was rough and I don't mess with it. But I've noticed some developments along Brighton Beach, and I will go back and search for comments about the plan.
Can you hear her? Can you hear Mr. Lewis?
No, I'm not here. She dropped out.
Guys, please share up the live. Don't keep all this information to yourselves.
Not hearing you, Maxine. We're not hearing you.
Go and come back. Yeah. She gonna wheel and come again.
Yeah,
she gonna wheel and come again. But you know, let me hear from people. What are you saying? What are you saying, Barbados? We are talking a lot. Let's see what the people are saying. What are you saying? Now, I saw a comment here that's coming from Omar Gibson, sometimes, Omar, you type a whole lot of things, but you did type something that I believe, yes. Omar Gibson says the government want to make Bridgetown and other part of Barbados a smart city, which is going to include some of the digital new age, he says, B system technologies of the New World Order system. Now, I will not necessarily add all of that to it, but I want to say that what is happening with this gentrification, what's going to happen is that we're not going to be going into Bridgetown. I have a show that I'm putting together that someone gave me some information about these smart cities, that she went to a meeting, Mr. Lewis, a meeting. She went to a meeting, and when she went to the meeting, there were only two of them there, and this meeting was about these smart cities. Okay. And they're supposed to have these town hall meetings, but they don't advertise them properly, so only a few persons turned up. And what they're planning to do in they started in St. Philip, in 6 Roads. So they're going to make it be self-contained. You're not going to need to go to town, because they're going to take over town. They're going to do it. They're going to do it in each of the towns. They're going to develop several smart cities that are self-contained. right? So you're not going to need to go into Bridgetown. Is what is going to happen. But I'm speaking here without all the information. But that is the intention. When if drive to 6 roads and you see what is happening, they're going to move the police station and bring it into 6 roads. They're going to move everybody inland, and we're going to be in Jamaica. We call it chuck up, right? We're all going to live on top of one another, so that what we see happening in what they did in they have the people living chuck up in Nelson Street, so that when there's a fire, the fire goes through so quickly. So we're going to be coming inland, and we're going to be in our areas. So you ain't going to Bridgetown to buy nothing. Even the chefette that is there, Miss McLean is back.
So wait, Marcia, wait. So we gonna build a beach. We gonna build a beach for St. George, and we gonna build a beach for St. Thomas.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we're hearing you.
Talk to me, Marcia, man. Talk to me.
Listen, all I know, I haven't done the show yet. I have been researching, and I have the information put together. But what I'm saying to you, Mr. Lewis, from what I'm seeing, is that they're moving the people inland, and we are going to all be in specific areas. And it's an idea that they have taken, Miss McLean, from Europe and other places. The only thing is that they pick up these ideas and they bring them here. And we're a small country, so it's like you're trying to fit this thing. Smart cities can work probably in say Dominican Republic. I mean, big countries. But you gonna have us hitch up in St. Philip? You must be mad. Okay,
so why can't I go and build these smart cities in St. George and St. Thomas? Why is it that you're gonna move all the folks from Nelson Street, and all the environs there? Why can't we constitute a smart city for them? Why?
Marcia, this ain't about no smart cities. This is about people thinking that we are bloody dumb. Because, I started to say before I left that you were talking, I think you were asking Victor about where people, where would people get to go to the beach? And from what I'm seeing, and I will go back and find it because it was no figment of my imagination. They were talking about all that's going to happen coming from the port right down to Brighton Beach. Because, you had the Coast Guard base, they're supposed to move that. And all of that, build hotels and whatever, and they are taking up our prime beaches. In fact, some changes have occurred already at Brandon's, but I will talk about that another time. The young man was talking to you about something that's under construction as the second set of condos. The workers from NCC have gone, and it's not that they have reduced the workforce. I ran into a young man who used to work on Brighton Beach, and he said he's now down somewhere on the West Coast. A private businessman is paying somebody to clean the beach. And that is not because he loves me or the people that I swim with on mornings. That is about people.
Maxine, you're gone again.
Yes, we're not hearing you again, Miss McLean. The devil is a liar. Yep. I had the same issue on Monday, on Sunday. Trouble. You're a liar. Go again, Miss McLean.
It's amazing, boy. It's amazing.
Keep going. I'm going to just organize. I had Mr. Victor Young to call in tonight because he's being censored by CBC. And I had him to call in tonight, but I don't think we're going to have that tonight. I'm going to let the people call in about this particular issue. So I have to go and sort that out. So just continue to speak to the people, Mr. Lewis, and just let me go backstage and get that done. Thank you.
Yeah. My concern is Bronx Beach. Bronx Beach is a wonderful beach. We do so many things on Bronx Beach. You see guys playing the racquetball, you see folks running, you see folks relaxing, people swimming, the little children doing their little stuff, you know, on the beach, building little sand castles, the whole works. You know, it's a family environment, it's a family community. And they show that picture there just now with all of those umbrellas and chairs. You know, sometimes it's a real challenge to go now to Bronx Beach and to get a good run. Sometimes you want to run the wet and come up the dry. Down the wet, come up the dry. That's part of your training. You know, so you can freely come up on the dry. You know, it's tough on the muscles. You enjoy it. When you get a bit too tough, you come back down on the wet and you run it out and then you go back up on the dry again. That's a beautiful thing that, you know, lots of folks training, you enjoy Bronx Beach. Now, I don't really take that anymore because up there now is becoming, you know, an environment of frustration when you see all of these, you know, umbrellas coming up. And if it is just now in April, and then we have all of those projected plans for establishment, we're gonna be having so much challenges. So my joy now is East Coast. You know, the East Coast, I have about 4 or 5 miles of sand on the East Coast from Calawash down to Piccadilly from back up, you know, and that's my stretch now that I enjoy, you know. But Bronx Beach, you know, we've got to be very careful as the people that we don't set up policies to protect those beaches, because as Marcy is rightfully saying, they want to establish these, what we call, you know, these little small towns, as the case may be. And look where they're going to do it. That what would constitute part of that town is Bronx Beach, you know. And then they're going to have so much policies in place now as to what we can do and what we can't do, where you can put a chair, where you can't put a chair. Can you bring in your kayaks? How many kayaks do you have? You know, you can't bring in 4, you could only bring in 1. Where you're going to park it, where you're going to put it. All of those things, you know, just frustrate you. When you go to the beach as a pastime, you go there to relax. Relax. You can put out your lounge chair, you can put out, you know, umbrella, you can put out your cooler, you can put out everything and just relax. I got my bucket, I got my rod, I got my fishing net, I got everything because I'm going to the beach to relax, you know. And West Coast, don't cut it with me. Don't cut it, period. Because my first frustration is, where do I park? Where do I park? You know, when you come out of Fitzvillage, at least Fitzvillage is the only way where I can just, you know, just come off there by the church, park there by the church, and maybe go on. But right in front of that area by the church is a big whole shoal. There's a shoal right in front there. So if I go there, I go to high tide to do a little fishing. Outside of that, no, I'm gone. Backstrack again is another bit of frustration. Once upon a time, you could go into Backstrack, you could drive right down between the trees and everything, go all down to Freshwater Bay and everything, and then relax and enjoy yourself. Now you got to come up top by the tanks on top of the hill, come over the top of the hill and try to wriggle your way down to. If you don't have a 4x4, you can't do that when you're going down to Freshwater Bay. So it's a big challenge. It's a big challenge for us. So what has happened on the West Coast, they're now looking to replicate that from Pearl Bay up. And we have got to be careful as Bajans that we don't end up to be another set of glorified slaves along that stretch. We must set up policies where Bajans are owners, where we dictate the pace. It may not happen in 2026 or 2030, but if it happens in 2050, and this generation is gone and the next generation takes over, then we are building an environment for Bajans. Because what we are seeing now, we have built the West Coast. And tell me, along that whole stretch of West Coast, how much ownership do we have along that whole stretch? Starting from there at the by the SO station at the end of Black Rock, right down to Six Men's Bay. Tell me how much ownership we have of Bajans owning that stretch on the West Coast. We have given it up. And now we're looking to come and give up this area of Bridgetown, especially Bronx Beach. We can't afford to sit down and allow that to happen. Bronx Beach should remain as is, because it is crowded now, but we can abide with it. But what the current plans that we are seeing in place, Bronx Beach is not going to get any bigger. but we're going to start to put structures in place where people are not going to feel psychologically comfortable to come to that area and relax. Because you're going to be subjected to so many things. You can't park there. You can't park here. You can't bring in that. You can't put the chair here. That area there belongs to the hotel. You got to carry down your chair a little further, you know. Yes, we're not going to be able to have it like before. Folks go down there and they play their racquetball. Go anywhere on the beach, they play their racquetball. You can run, you know, run as you feel like. But that's going to be a very crowded area. And may God help us. May God help us.
Let me hear from well said, very well said, and from your heart. And I know you love the outdoors. And, so I'm really feeling that. Miss McLean, there's an article I know you want to look at. Oh, we're having the same problem again.
Not serious, Marcy.
What we can do, we can read the article. Dave, if you put the article up. Oh, wow. Okay, so this is what Miss McLean wanted to share with you tonight. Let's see if we got her.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we're hearing you. We're hearing
you. I decided to stop to try to let me just okay. If Dave could put the article, because I'm on my tablet, so let me see if I can extend this.
Yeah, that's how we do it. We fight. We're not giving up.
Okay, Marcia, what happened when I was listening to you? I came across this article, and it probably explains in part why. So if we can go scroll down, I'll read the article. Okay, it says a Kenyan advocate has filed a freedom of information or right of information request challenging the legal grounds for diplomatic immunities and privileges recently granted to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation by the Ruto administration. In a letter dated October 24, 2024, and addressed to Foreign Affairs Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi, Dr. Owiso, an advocate of the Kenyan High Court, raised concerns over these privileges, which have attracted significant public criticism. Quote, by the Privileges and Immunities Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation Order 2024, dated September 2024, and published as Legal Notice 157 in the Kenya Gazette Supplement number 181 of the 4th of October 2024, you granted certain immunities and privileges to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation pursuant to Section 1 of the Privileges and Immunities Act. Owiso's letter reads. It goes on to state, and quote, as this is a matter that affects the nation, you are obligated under Article 35(3) of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 to publish and publicize information relevant to the circumstances under which the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation was granted this status. The request filed through Dallo and Company Advocates seeks comprehensive disclosure on the process and agreements that led to the Gates Foundation special diplomatic status. I will pause there and say something. The request filed through Dallo and Company Advocates seeks comprehensive disclosure on the process and agreements that led to the Gates Foundation special diplomatic status. Now, recognize that what they're asking to do, or what they're requesting, is full disclosure. What I believe the Gates Foundation and its principals and the government, perhaps in this case, do not want revealed those details. Because then, you see, they were talking about being distracted by criticism and whatever, and they want to get on with their work. That sounds good. And it may be true. I have no reason to doubt it. But I think part of the challenge is because the laws of Kenya require or permit the requesting of full disclosure. It would be very interesting to see what would otherwise not have been disclosed in this agreement. And so I always say to explain is to expose, This to disclose is to expose.
Mhm.
And therefore, that is a concern. Let me continue. Specifically, it says, so the request files through the lawyers, it goes on to say specifically, OVISO requests, 1, an explanation of the criteria that qualify the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation for immunity and privileges under the Privileges and Immunity Act. Remember, in all that we have been hearing in the discussions, you're hearing this is similar to CDB, when we come back to the Afrexim Bank, this is similar to this and that, or this is not this and this. People are saying, and I have said, so tell us exactly what makes this entity qualify. Don't tell us it's similar, show us how. So here they are saying, we want an explanation of the criteria. So tell us exactly how, why, and under whatever conditions, whatever, does this foundation qualify for privileges and immunities. It goes on to request copies of all agreements between the Kenyan government and the foundation, including any host country agreement. So in other words, we don't want to speculate. We want to see, we want to be crystal clear exactly what you have agreed to. And in the case of the host country agreement, exactly what you are given to this foundation. Okay? And then it goes on to say, according to legal notice number 157, published on October 4, 2024, Mudavadi stated that the foundation, chaired by philanthropist Bill Gates, received special status due to its work in poverty alleviation, healthcare, and education across the country. Now, I am sure there are other philanthropic entities, domestic and foreign, in Kenya, as you would find across the world in many countries. But are they all given equal treatment? In other words, why have you granted this to them? And I think this is the fundamental questions that we have been asking. And so looking at that against what you shared, it gives us the background to the decision to step away from the agreement. And if you leave that there for a minute, if you go back and look at what that Reuters news article said, I'm just going to pull it up on my phone. Oh, sorry, no, that's the one about that one is the one about the power outage. That wasn't that. But if you look back at the article, okay, this is here. The Gates Foundation has withdrawn from the host country agreement after uproar and legal hurdles. Well, you understand some of the legal hurdles now, because people are saying we want full disclosure. So it says in a statement, Gates Foundation Africa Director Dr. Pauline Basinga confirmed the withdrawal of the agreement with Kenya. He cited the ongoing legal case surrounding the agreement, stated that it has drawn attention away from their commission. I don't know that that is the case. You can proceed with your commission, and if you have nothing to hide and you want to make a case which says we are deserving of this, or the government demonstrating that they're deserving of those privileges and immunities, you share with the court what was requested in that information that I shared just now. So in essence, the question really and truly, was this thing not worth fighting for? If you felt that, and this is on the part of government, on the part of the foundation, well, let's park the foundation for a minute. On the part of government, if you felt that you had a solid reason or rationale for doing this, then you go to the people and say, these are the details. We have nothing to hide. But if you feel that you have something to hide because you can't, or you refuse to meet these requests, then it makes me ask the question, what is it that you are unwilling to share, or why are you unwilling to share? So I just, as I said, while you were speaking about that, I thought I would do a search to see what information was available online in relation to this. And several articles came up, but I thought this one useful because it gives us a background as to the challenge and why the challenge, and also the decision in the face of that challenge to step back and say, we're not going to worry with this host country agreement anymore.
Yeah.
What
And
you see?
thank you, Miss McLean. I think and just as I was here, where's Cosmo? Where's Miss McLean? I looked down and saw that you had just sent me a message with this thing. So you were meant to come on. This is an unusual night.
But no, Marcia, stick up in before Victor speaks, and I want to say this publicly. I got a note from a friend of mine. I don't like to describe young people as young because they may think it is condescending, but no, it's just to show that even old people like me have young friends. And I got a note from a young friend who said to me just now, Marcia Weeks is a powerful woman. And my response was yes, and she's also a very spiritual woman. And I say this, Victor and company, because in my early interactions with Marcia, everything that we have worked on or come together to they don't just, people will say coincidences. I don't believe in coincidences. I believe that things happen for those who have certain kind of spiritual groundings. I think that things happen in divine order. And there was a reason, Marcia, therefore, why your guests could not come on the show tonight. And you spent the entire show dealing with some other important issues. And so it ain't by coincidence that this happened. Okay, Michelle is saying it's called discovery. So in essence, they want details, and that's right. The compulsory disclosure. But so they've opted not to do that. And you ask why. So over to y'all again, Marcia. Thanks for giving me that time.
Thank you, Miss McLean. I appreciate you saying that. Over to Mr. Lewis. You had something.
Yeah, no. But I was going to say to Marcia that righteousness exalts a nation. So as long as you remain in tune with the will of God, He is going to allow things to materialize in your favor. And we've got to stay grounded in faith that, that will transpire. But I want to go back to what you said earlier, that of course Bill Gates don't want any explanation, because the explanation will cause things to be exposed. So he shut it down early, because any explanation in terms of criteria or otherwise, then things that he really want to be held under the bushel will be exposed. So he doesn't want that, So I think the same thing should apply to this current environment of immunity, that we need to know what criteria was employed, what criteria were employed to merit this status by the, what's the big name there again?
You mean Bill
What's the big
Gates?
name there? No, the bank.
Afrexim Bank.
Afrexim Bank.
Bank.
Yes.
It's hard to call sometimes.
Right. So how could we there the Kenyan government is asking for the criteria, what circumstances, give us an explanation, be very clear to the people, be transparent, bring the documents, let everyone be able to just peruse and see, what steps were taken, what were the circumstances surrounding, what criteria did you use, and I think that we are very much on track with this. And these questions, must be asked. But I don't know in terms of the legal minds, Marcia, and Ms. McLean.
Yeah, we need. I mean, I one of the things I noted, and Adrian Hines was saying it, and only the lawyers can tell us. That's why I said we need legal minds, Ms. McLean, to be able to pick it apart, because we need to know, because we don't have a Freedom of Information Act, which in their covenant they did say that they were going to pass that into law. I don't know if that would be one of the reasons why they couldn't go. Our lawyers might find that as a hurdle, but I would like for lawyers to be able to look at this for the people. We need some lawyers to step forward, Ms. McLean, and to look at it and to tell us, is it possible? They had uproar, and they presented uproar. So there was public uproar or public outcry, right, Ms. McLean? And they presented legal hurdles. What we know how to create the uproar. We don't know about the legal hurdles. So you need legal minds to be able, so we're not talking foolishness, you know? But let me open up the lines, because this has been an important class tonight. And we need people to let people, you know, let's hear what they're thinking. Let's hear what the people are thinking. I want to thank the loyal opposition person from in Barbados who sent this to me today. And we're all over the place, 280,000 of us strong. So the line is ready. Okay, someone is calling. Yes, good night. Turn down your devices. And I know this person, but good night.
Yes, good night.
Okay, wait. Why are we not hearing?
You can hear me?
Okay, speak up again, please. Yes, speak up. Oh boy. Yeah. Hello, speak again. Can you say something again, please?
To get the Motley-led administration out.
Okay, just repeat, sir. Thank you for calling the Marcia Week Show. I'm sorry for that technical issue. Can you? Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we're hearing you loud and clear, sir. Go right ahead.
Right, I'm saying that people in Barbados need to get the Motley-led administration out. The reason I'm saying this is, how could you have a prime minister traveling all over the place and pertinent information that could and should come out at Paris Speaks is not coming out? And I call it, I always blog and call it done deal politics. Barbados has never in its history, you name all the prime ministers that we've never had such despotic and commandeering leadership where deals were done with multi-millionaires and multi-billionaires and what's not, and stealth, whatever names you want to call it, and the people are finding out after the fact. I think that we need to understand that there are some of us, which even if it be the majority, 80 or 100%, as low socioeconomic, cannot be put into a box and treated the way that that we are being treated.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I think people need to rethink this idea about BLP and DLP and NDP and whatever, BFP or whatever the case, all this kind of piece, and say, you know what, Barbados belongs to the people, and we need transparent government and governance.
Yes. Thank you so much, Call. I can hear the passion in your voice there. Thank you, caller.
Correct.
Yes.
All the best.
Okay. Thank you. Yes. It seems that Miss McLean dropped out again. They don't want to hear her tonight. They don't want her on here tonight. They don't want her on here tonight. Yep. But any thoughts on what the caller has said? And while Mr. Lewis is getting his thoughts together, folks, we're asking you to call in. What is going through your mind? There's a lot of information. We've been at it almost 3 hours. Okay, there's a caller here. Hang on. Write down what you want to say, Mr. Lewis. Pleasant good evening. Welcome to the Marcia Week Show.
Good night.
Good night, caller. Yes, caller. Yes.
This caller needs to go down a whole line. Good night. We need to go back. We need to go back a little distance. We need to go back a long distance. We need to go back to going after administration and the Barbados Labour Party. We need to tell the people that this quarter that have been sold out from the time of going after, he told the people of Barbados that from the port up until the Hilton Hotel would have been sold out from the time of the cricketing time.
Yes. So you're saying it goes all the way back.
Yes. Anyhow, I need to say another thing.
Yes.
The reason for these things happening, the time for these things is happening now. Because they always said that they wanted to make a quarter from the port right up until the Hilton Hotel. After they get to the Hilton Hotel, there would have been all sorts of hotels and things like that. This agreement and thing was going on from the time with the Barbados National Bank. When the Barbados National Bank was sold, they told us the bank wasn't making any money and it wasn't doing anything. They sold the bank, and from the time the bank was sold, the bank became the best bank in the Caribbean, because when the bank was functioning, they never gave poor people a loan. The loans was given to Carl Williams and those big people, and they didn't pay back the money. From the time the bank was sold, the Trinidadians gave the Bajan people 100% loans, and the bank became the best bank in the Caribbean. This was the beginning of the downfall of the Barbadian people. They didn't wake up then. I don't think they're ready to wake up now, because what's happening is a continuation of things that have been happening by the Barbados Labour Party towards the Barbados people for years.
Yeah. So you're saying it goes all the way back. Got your point. Point taken. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you for calling. Excellent point. Thank you. Thank you. Any thoughts on that? Anybody? Miss McLean, you're back. Let's see.
Yeah, I dropped out for a bit, so I missed most of what that caller said.
Yes.
I have to go out and come back in.
Yeah. Okay. Let's hear Mr. Lewis. I know you had a point from before, and any comment on this particular caller?
Well, I really want to hear from the Prime Minister on this one. What constitutes, what are the circumstances surrounding, what criteria was used in order to give the Afrexim Bank immunity. I know that when you have embassies in the country, the Canadian embassy, the American embassy, we know that those folks have, carried this whole status of immunity. What criteria was employed, was mobilized in order to for this bank to have this status? And our prime minister talk pretty, rare pretty. But at the end of the day, I would always say to my wife, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. And looking at all your fancy styles and with this product, at the end of the day, I want to take that pudding and eat it. Then to be able to give a determination as to what it really is.
Yes.
And as I was saying from before, this whole concept of cognitive dissonance, Mia, our Prime Minister, speaks beautiful, wonderful, very convincing. But at the end of the day, when you start to read that from print, you see the amount of lies that are being told to the people of Barbados. And we have got to be very conscious. Don't get carried away by emotions. Don't get carried away by the pretty long talk. But be able to analyze and draw your conclusion on what is being said, not how it is being said and the whole pretty words that are being used. Don't get carried away by that. I would sit down and I would admire, beautiful orator. Speaks wonderful, man. Convincing. But at the end of the day, what? If your morning words don't equal your evening words, you're telling lies. And you cannot be respected as a person who we can trust to take this country of Barbados forward. I want to look out for the policies and plans that will be put in place for that area of Browns Beach, because that's my area. That's my area. Just now, I gotta look at the buy a boat and come in from the beach. That's gonna be my access. I gotta come round from the East Coast, come up the corner by Colbert, and come in at Browns Beach at some point in time. If you don't be careful as to what policy that will be put in place up there for us. And Maxine, you better watch out them Brandons. You know,
Well,
oh my God, you
watching
my God.
carefully, I'm watching carefully because there's some serious moves there. And as I said, I remember reading some things about the plan. But Marcy, I want to go back. I think Dave has put up something which gives us some additional information. If we can scroll back up, because this will help us to understand what. Okay. Okay. Go ahead. But go up further because you're sharing something from the court. During. Okay. Go up a little bit more. Let me see. Is this a continuation?
This
Okay,
is the
good.
one from what I read from.
Well, so you read the whole thing because it really didn't explain what the court had decided to maintain.
Yes, yes.
No. Yeah, because that info, that detail now explains some of what. No, you were going back up. I want you to go down to the further when it starts to talk about the ruling or something. Also, stop there. The court ruling.
Okay.
Go back up 2 lines. Yes, go back a little bit, Dave. 2 lines. Yeah. Okay. It goes also read Ruto clarifies involvement. So that's another story which you can look at. But you're saying that the Kenya granted the American Foundation a special status through a legal notice, and it explains under 157, etc. So then there was a court ruling where the Justice Bahiti Moye had in a November 25th, 2024 ruling ordered the suspension and prohibited any members of the foundation from continuing to enjoy any privileges and immunities. The order was directed to the foundation's staff, agents, officers, and directors. So that sounds like anybody connected to the foundation. Now, I read that because remember, when we look at the information that we have in relation to the Afrexim Bank, the question is, to whom does it do these immunities apply? And in addition to that, because remember, in exploring this more and more, some people, and I am certainly beginning to believe that it is less about the bank and more about the hotel and conference center, because if this is all part of a package, and this is where full disclosure becomes important, if it is part of a package, who exactly are the persons covered under these privileges and immunities? And if we look at that line in there, where the judge placed a suspension on benefiting from those privileges and immunities, it looked like it covered everybody, the foundation staff. It didn't say the management. It said the foundation staff, agents, officers, and directors. And to my mind, that speaks about privileges and immunities for anybody connected to the foundation. So in the context of what we are reading about Barbados, my question to the Prime Minister and to her cabinet and to the government, are you providing such privileges and immunities for an entire set of people connected with the full project being the headquarters of the bank, the regional headquarters of the bank, along with those people connected to the hotel and the conference facility? So these are the things that we need. We can only be surmising, but we need to know definitively. So when I read that, and you start to look at the explanation as to on what basis that what exactly was suspended, then we have to ask ourselves, when we look at the arrangements here, what exactly or who exactly would this apply to? So as you said, somebody was asking me a question about something. I don't tread on legal matters, and I look at what I can read before we explain. Somebody was asking me about the ownership of the, at least it was the information was there, the hospital. You explain what you've discovered. Let the officials and the authorities come and tell us that is different. But I don't.
Well, just to clarify to that person who asked, the museum is supposed to be a place that would keep historical records, right, Miss McLean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Supposed to be. It is supposed to be. So I would prefer to come on here and read something from the museum website, right, than from a newspaper, for example. All
Exactly.
right.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
unless as Miss McLean said to the caller who was wondering if what I was reading was correct, all I can say, which is what I said earlier, this is what I found. What actually a former librarian, not even me, found it, and who's into history, and sent it to me. So now it is so the authorities, and they listen to the program, to come out and say that the museum, what we are reading on the museum website, Miss McLean and Mr. Lewis, is incorrect. Here is the correct information. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Someone was calling, and there seemed to be, we're only 3 minutes away. I know. Listen, this is, I had a bag of things to talk about tonight, and I did not even do half. And as you saw, the guests did not, we were dealing with Guyana a lot in the first part of the show. And that did not happen. Let me see if I can get this call in. Let's see if we can get this call in tonight. Mr. Lewis, any thoughts there while we reach out?
I am looking for the legal fraternity of who will step up to the plate and answer the same questions that were asked by the Kenyan court. What are the circumstances leading to the development of this status for the Afrexim Bank? What criteria was used? And I think those are valid questions coming from the loyal opposition. And I'm hoping that we can get some kind of response. But coming from a lawyer, coming from the High Court, coming from any judicial environment that can speak towards, the importance of these questions, I wonder how many crystal hands do we have out there that can step up to the plate without having a political mind, but be able to ask objective questions and seek the responses so that the people of Barbados can see some transparency in what is being mobilized in this country.
Oh yes, most definitely. I know they're listening. It's 8:09, and I'm going to say before I go there, before we go, there is a farmer that I featured. I don't know if anybody saw. I know a lot of people weren't on today, but there's a farmer in St. George, and she has a beautiful farm, Miss McLean, a single mom, and sent her children, to school, and all those kids came out very well. And someone went in the farm and vandalized the farm today, pulled up all of the beets, full of all of the carrots. You're talking about thousands of dollars that were destroyed today. And so she reached out to the show, and I went there. And this is just a little video. We are about people as well, so we're always about people. So just take a look at this devastation that has occurred.
So these were young plants that were not ready to be reaped, right?
They weren't ready to be reaped.
That's a horribly sick person.
This is a cassava. Can you believe, Mr. This I tell you, the woman, she wept today.
2 feet monkey did that.
One thing, but to go and destroy plants before, that is just a vicious, sick behavior on somebody's part. I trust that they can identify the person or persons.
Yeah, this is a carrots here. This carrots she had yes, there, and this is the beige and carrots. And she said these 3 beds, she could easily make $1,000 from the bed, 3 beds of carrots.
Wow. Yeah, because the prices, when you look at the prices of local.
And she would have tended the land, brought in laborers to help her. She's a female, and this is what has occurred. So, we were able to, through the show and the loyal opposition, to give her at least the money for the labor. Just $400 we had. It's no whole lot we had. But if there's anybody else, this is all of the rosemary is out of the ground. Anybody who has who can help her, because it's hard to feel like you have to start over again. You're going to have to spend the money. You have to work again. You have to wait on the land again. That is very, very tough. And if you have anybody out there want to help her in any way, feel free to call us 236-7000. As I said, Kuder, this is tough for anybody at all. So I even promised when she's starting over, because her thing is just to start over, Miss McLean. I told her I will come up there. I'm going to wear my boots and thing and go and help her. She's a female. A lot of us, our grandparents, our thing, they struggled on the land. And they,
they're just any volunteers who would join you?
Yes, any volunteers. Something about gardening. I don't know a lot, but I can learn, and I love gardening. Once I get instructions, we can and come to work, not to talk about politics. We want work. I help the lady. Mr. Lewis, you want to come and help her?
But that I don't have a difficulty there. But this vandalism here has been premeditated, and we can look at all of the things that. We can look at oak trees there. That person was traveling with a knife, because you can see that was cut. And the person then just pulled the trees up and just tossed them here and there. They pull them up meticulously, and they seek to make the impact on every single plant that she has in that garden. And of course, if you do an investigation into this matter, you will find out that this person knows that individual personally and has something against that family. So that should be a pretty easy case, in my opinion, for the police to investigate. The person knows her well.
Mr. Lewis, up until I left there, I think it's after 2. Dave can put in the chat and tell me. The police didn't come. She had reported it very early in the morning. And the police did not arrive as yet. I know that they're short staffed. We were going to be talking a lot about the police tonight. Yeah. But no, Pedro, I'm not taking gender studies, Pedro. I don't need to take gender studies for that. My mom was a single mom. My grandmother was, she was in agriculture, and, she was single mother as well. So it's not about that at all. I just want to clarify that. It's a fact that this is her livelihood. She's female. She's not strong as a man would be. So she has to pay, to make the beds. You understand, Miss McLean, and do these things.
But
so
I want to say to Pedro, though, that looking at the video, the length of the fields, the beds and so on, there are not a lot of female farmers in Barbados who engage in this for what I would call for their primary livelihood, because that's the impression I got, that this is where she makes, and this is how she's brought up her children, etc. So there's absolutely nothing wrong highlighting this. I wasn't sure what was the point about gender study, but let me let that go there. I don't want to digress.
Yeah. All right. So folks, and Dave, it's really disheartening to look at. We need to be growing more, Miss McLean and Mr. Lewis, especially now with all the tariffs and so on. We've been saying that on the show, but it's even worse now. And we need to be getting out there in the sun. Go out in the sun. The sun. Don't be afraid of the sun. Put on your hat. I was out there with my hat today, Miss McLean.
Don't worry about that,
yes?
Marcia.
Yeah.
Trump has put a 90-day pause on the tariffs.
Yeah.
Those are soon dropped. They will be dropped.
That's a whole different thing. All I'm saying is this about that. All I'm saying is this. Because when you talk, Trump becomes very divisive. I am just saying here.
I say, I don't know why. I think people just express their opinions. You know, we express our opinions on everything else. But anyhow, go ahead.
I know, but what because I get the messages, Miss McLean. So I know that we can discuss Trump as it relates to things in the Caribbean. We don't have the time to go in it now, right? So all I'm saying is that we need to be doing our agriculture and getting everything prepared, because we don't know what is going to happen. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. So Dave, if you can put up the thing on the mark so we can close with that. I think. I don't know if you had something else to close with. No? Okay, so there's a march on Saturday. It's not being planned by us, but I am totally in support of it. Anything from when Barbadans are expressing themselves, I'm gonna be there. I used to go to all the marches planned. Anything was planned by Bungo Lights and any of those guys. I'm present because it's an expression, and so I'm going to be here at this one. This is Say No to the Vybz Cartel show. We march for life, not lyrics of violence. We march so the count doesn't rise, and they're talking about the homicide count in Barbados, Saturday, April 12, 2025, starting at 10 a.m.
It doesn't tell you starting where, though, Marcia. I'm trying to see if they tell you.
Yes, okay, good point. It's starting at, let me move the banner. Thank you.
Yeah, right.
Yes, from Independence Square to Massey Car Park, right by Kensington Oval.
Yeah, they're going the opposite direction, yeah.
Yes, the opposite, opposite direction. Yeah.
Not okay. Not okay. No way, no way, no way. No way, no way, no way.
Yeah. So that's the ad for that. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. I think we've said our final words already, Miss McLean. Thank you for jumping into your pretty clothes and jumping on. Thank you. And thank you. Thank you to Mr. Lewis. Thank you all. Thank you so much. I so appreciate everyone. Thank you. And look what I have. I brought this to show off that I got from the farm.
Gooseberries? That gooseberries?
Gooseberries. You want some, Miss McLean? Let me know.
You got them in some salt water?
No, I got them and brought them home, and I said, yes, okay, I'm going to save some for you. All right?
That's all right.
Yes, okay, folks. All right, God bless you all, and have a good night. And I will follow up with the other things on Friday that I promised I didn't talk about. Bye-bye, everybody. Good night.
Good night, peoples.